Hi, this is Regina Y. Favors coming to you with a rebound relationship series titled Understanding Relationship Failure 10 Reasons. This is going to be a collective lecture, and it is divided into multiple videos. So you will need to listen to the first part, the second, the third, and so on. So, understanding relationship failure is important because if you don't take the time to self assess what went wrong with the relationship, you are doomed to repeat the same types of mistakes. Understanding relationship failure also points to the fact that most relationships fail oftentimes with our contribution, but it could also be that you just really chose the wrong person, or the person was just not ready to be in relationship, or the person could have chosen you as maybe a fallback plan until they were able to marry someone else. So I want you to take some time to listen to the full series. If you have any questions, please leave a comment and I will respond. Also, take some time to hit the subscription button and then hit the notification bell if you are interested in further videos. Thank you for visiting the channel. So this lecture is subject to fair use. So I will be commenting, criticizing, teaching, and pursuing scholarship using this lecture. Reason number 8, a successful cheater, a deliberate loser, as a reason for why they might marry someone else. So I have some discussion questions that I hope you will sort of take down or just pay attention to as I read. If you and your current partner broke up, how difficult would it be for your partner to find someone who is as physically attractive, generous, ambitious, practical as you? So that basically means that you perceive yourself as the type of person who is physically attractive, generous, ambitious, and practical, right? So when you think about whether your partner could, get somebody else, you are going to base whether they will get the same person as you. Now, that works if your current partner thinks the same way, but most men, when they break up with you or they leave the relationship, they're looking to get someone who is higher value, who is higher value than you. So if you consider your value as being physically attractive, generous, ambitious, and practical, they're going to look at a person who is either has those qualities or is someone completely different. They will always look for a person who is physically attractive, always. But if their qualifying criteria is sexual variety, and you're looking at yourself in terms of self-perception as being physically attractive or generous, ambitious, and practical, you are less they are more likely to leave you and engage in a relationship that is more that offers more sexual variety. So if you and your current partner broke up, how difficult would it be for your partner to find someone who is all those qualities as you? It depends on what their objective is, what their goal is. They're not going to move from one partner that they might consider low value to another partner who might be low value. I have a kind of quick example of this. When I was first initially wanting to leave Dallas, I live in Dallas now, but when I was wanting to leave Dallas back in 95 to 96, I was looking for 4 places I was interested in moving to. And so it was Berkeley, California, Chicago, North Carolina, and then I forget the other place. I can't believe I forgot that. But when I was was it Michigan? I can't remember. When I was conducting sort of like a process of elimination, I said to myself, well, if I go to North Carolina, it's like moving from the South to the South. And I said, well, I don't want to go there. And then I thought about Chicago. Chicago is too expensive. And then, yes, it was Michigan. Then I thought about, Michigan, and I said, well, I got family out there. I don't want to go somewhere where I know somebody. So then California became the place that I ended up. I actually wanted to go to Berkeley. I didn't do my due diligence, right, to get into Berkeley, so I ended up moving to San Diego. But that's not the point. The point was that I didn't want to move to North Carolina because I didn't want to move from the South to the South. That I wanted a different experience. So this is the same thing here in a way. That if your current partner broke up with you, how difficult would it be for your partner to find someone else who represents the same qualities as you? It is likely that it will be not difficult, because if they are basing their goal on someone else that is different from you, then it's not going to be difficult for them to find someone else who is the same as you or better. Or you can look at very difficult, that it might be hard for them to find because their goal might be for sexual variety. So it just depends on what their goal is. If you and your current partner broke up, how difficult would it be for you to find another partner who is as physically attractive? So when women move from partner to partner, we honestly move based upon their economic and financial status. Sure, we can bag a physically attractive guy. That's not a problem for any woman, really. But if physical attractiveness is not sort of like the criteria that we care about, and economic status might be the criteria, we don't want to move from a rich person to a poor person. I know that sounds bad. If anything, we want to move up. So we will move from poor to rich. So it might not, if you and your current partner broke up, how difficult would it be for you to find another partner who is as physically attractive? Well, that's not really going to be a difficult thing for us. What might be actually difficult is the finances, his economy, whatever he is doing with his life, and then of course stability. How likely do you think it is that you will in the future have sexual intercourse with, fall in love with someone other than your current partner while in a relationship with your current partner? If it's a man and there's opportunity, he's going to step out. Not every man cheats. I do understand that. But if there's opportunity, that's why you see some of these men who are on the road, who play basketball, cheat on their partners while they are on the road, because there's opportunity. When they are at home, you hardly ever hear anything about them cheating, right? Because they are at home, they have opportunity to have sex with their wives. However, when they are on the road, even if it's not that long, it could be just a road trip or something like that, a weekend thing, they will cheat. It's the strangest thing. With a woman, how likely do you think it is that you will in the future have sexual intercourse with, fall in love with someone other than your current partner while in relationship with your current partner? It depends on what that current partner is doing. We just learned from the previous audio about mate retention, higher mate value, cost-inflicting behaviors, benefit provisioning behaviors, that if the mate is exercising, jealousy, socially isolating the partner, performing, direct guarding in the relationship by, signaling public possession of the person, and the current partner doesn't like that, or the partner doesn't like that, or you don't like that, then it might be likely that you emotionally fall in love with someone, right? Women are less likely just to pursue sexual intercourse just because there's opportunity. Maybe because we have been socialized into thinking that if a woman does that, she's a slut or something like that, right? But even if we don't look at the social perception, I mean, we have women do have one-night stands, but they are sort of less likely to pursue sexual intercourse or fall in love with someone other than their current partner when things are working in a relationship and they feel secure. So, personal assumptions. Why people cheat? People cheat because it is more convenient. It is more efficient to know the answers than to study for the test. Relationships are filled with tests and they need solutions. People will jump over the test to get to a false end. As long as they finish under their terms, that's all that matters. After all, it is their test. However, in romantic relationships, to cheat is to exit. It brings about automatic loss. So when you are stepping out of the relationship and mating with someone outside of your current core relationship, you are basing your belief that maybe I can navigate life better on this other path, right? On this other path with this other woman on the other side of town. She does it for me. She's the one the one that's the right person for me, because my current partner, she's really not, giving me everything I need. When it comes to men, it always has to do with sex. However, it could also have to have some relation to female aggression, and we talked about that in previous audio. For women, it could be, if the woman is a vain, entitled, privileged type woman, it could be finances, or it could be for a woman in terms of his aim and lack of ambition. There's a number of reasons why people leave step out of one place in their life and step into another place in their life. And remember, when you do that, those are two different paths. There is more certainty if you stay in the relationship, in the core relationship, whether it is marriage or long-term cohabitation, than to get out of it and go cheat with someone else. It's people who oftentimes cheat on tests, they are getting out of the path, off the path of learning, because to cheat is to not learn. So they are getting off the path of not learning anymore. They're stopping their learning process and progress, and they are deciding to cheat, which means you are not learning. And so those are two different paths, and the more you cheat and jump over hurdles and try to fast track your life, you're going to hit that brick wall. People are more successful in cheating than in their other lives. They know cheating works. They have the data and the numbers to support their argument. When you think about it like this, if you are cheating with someone and that person is still with you, you feel sort of validated. Validated might not be the right word, but you feel validated in your choice to cheat with that person, because otherwise, when I go home to my To my nagging wife, she's telling me all the things I'm not. And then when I spend time with this woman right here, she's telling me all the things that I am. And in reality, the nagging wife is telling you all the things that you are, right? And so, but the affair partner doesn't have the responsibility of being a wife to you, so they can take you or leave you. They can have sex with you that day, and then they don't have the responsibility of cooking and cleaning and washing and dealing with your mood swings or whatever. All the responsibility they have in that moment is sex with you. And then a couple of times when you take the person out on a trophy walk. Other than that, it's easy for them to, sort of like abandon hope, right? They will build a house just to tear it down. When there is a gap, there should be a curiosity towards change. Losers will not seek change. These are common assessments, personal assumptions of cheating and cheaters. So if you're sort of like the person, you got some people who lose and they say to themselves, I got to figure out a way to win. So if I have to throw these free throws and practice free throws, right, to get better at my game so I don't lose again, I'm going to do that. But then you got some people who just say, I'm not going to win in that area. And they don't use that language, but if you're coming out of prison, for example, you might say your belief system might be so distorted, or your view might be so distorted that you just truly believe no one will hire you. So there's no sense in you going out to apply for jobs. So then if you don't apply for jobs, you are more likely to get into stuff because you need money. And then you don't have a girl or family members don't want to give you money. So then you return to the life of basically cheating. Because if you are committing any sort of criminal act, that is considered cheating because you're trying to get to a place in your life without the work ethic, right? Without the hard work that comes with relationship building. It takes time to build a house. That takes time. And what people do is they get into these relationships thinking everything is just going to work itself out. It's like the trickle-down economics, right? You give to the rich, tax cuts to the rich, and then somehow all of the rest of the people up under them will be able to get their benefits, right? It never happens. However, the research suggests a difference about why partners choose infidelity opportunities. Cheating or committing to infidelity is based upon one's own perception of mate value and partner perception of mate value. So if you feel like you can cheat, it is somewhere that you believe you have the mate value, you believe you are high mate value, and that all these people are not getting the benefit of you. So now you're looking at your perception of your mate value, and then in contrast to the partner perception of mate value, and you basically believe that you are of higher mate value. So therefore, cheating is an opportunity for you. Mate value predicts infidelity intention. So again, if you believe you are high mate value, you believe by default that it is more likely for you to intend to commit infidelity than your partner. I mean, how many times have you heard these men basically suggest it's okay for me to cheat, but not my wife, right? That no way in the world would she step out on me. Infidelity intention is based upon relationship satisfaction, and it is caused by two of the big 5 personality factors, so low conscientiousness and low agreeableness. So you tend to be people who work hard, who are conscientious and who are friendly, tend to be less likely to be unfaithful. It reminds me of something. You can tell when you ride the bus or the train who's been to work and who hasn't. You know, all the people on the train who have been working like 8, 9, 10 hours, they are on the train, they're tired, they tend to be quiet, they read a book, right, or they listen to music. The people who have not worked the whole day, they get on the train somewhere around 2:30 during rush hour, and they make up so much noise. It's just craziness, and they want to fight, right, because they've been sleeping all night, or they've been sleeping all the way up to a certain time of the day, and so now they're hyper and they want to engage. Whereas the people who have been working all day, all they can think about is getting home, cooking some food, helping the kids with the homework, talking to their partner, going to bed, and then doing it all over again, right? So people who work hard, they tend not to be the type of people who do a lot of cheating, because they have like a work ethic about them that merits like integrity, right? And then of course people who are friendly are also less likely to be unfaithful. Agreeableness in this regard, for low agreeableness, is basically the conflict that you have with between two partners. That's what the relationship satisfaction is. So if you're cheating, that means you sort of you're not happy in your relationship, and happy is relative. Some people cheat just really stupid reasons, you know, just because the wife was tired one night and didn't feel like cooking, and they base their decision on the fact that their mother always cooked for their father, right? But you can be tired. You can just be tired. I mean, you have to take care of the kids. If a husband doesn't come home and talk to the wife, all of a sudden, she has to have some sort of emotional cheating with some person at her job. You know, going to lunch hours with him, things like that. So it's all tied to relationship satisfaction. Mate value is determined by one's perception of his or her own attractiveness relative to others and access to high value mates. So we talked about mate value in the previous audio, and mate value is always self-perception and then public perception in terms of a group consensus. And we talked about this, that the high mate value is usually, in terms of a woman, is usually the blonde, blue-eyed woman. And then if you go up under her, it's the brunette, and then maybe after her, it may be the redhead. And we haven't even moved to the, black race or the Latino or the Asian, right? So assessment of attractiveness is based upon a global measure of attractiveness as a potential mate. For example, blondes are more preferred to brunettes, light-skinned blacks are more preferred to darker-skinned blacks. But I want to go back to the first bullet point. Mate value is determined by one's perception of his or her own attractiveness relative to others and access to high value mates. So you are not truly high value unless you can bag a high value mate. That's why you see many people going after, say, like the ballers, right, the rich men, because then you believe you get your mate value from being able to get a person who is high value, right? Even though you might self-perceive yourself as having high value and being a high value mate, you won't really know for certain if you are a high value mate unless you hook up with someone who is high value, and the both of you now reflect high value mates. Mate value then is a predictor of infidelity intentions. So Buss and Shackelford suggest that individuals with greater mate value than their long-term partners are more likely to report an intention to commit an infidelity. This suggests
a positive relationship between mate value and infidelity, and mate value and infidelity opportunities. So if it's kind of funny to me, why would you feel like you, first of all, you believe you are a high value mate, right? Okay, then why are you getting with a long-term partner who is not high value mate? Because why would you need to cheat with someone just because your long-term partner is not high value mate? Because you are basically suggesting that you are too high value in order to remain faithful to your long-term partner, that you intend to commit an infidelity. Okay, then why don't you get out of the relationship and pursue a high value mate so that way you won't have to cheat? I just think that's just very interesting, that the way people process, their rationale for cheating. However, different components of mate value may be positively or negatively linked to infidelity. If agreeableness, one of the big 5 personality traits, is one component, then those who score high in agreeableness is positively linked to higher mate value, and those who score low in agreeableness is negatively linked to infidelity. So meaning that when there's high agreeableness, that means that two partners sort of like agree with each other in terms of their mate value. So they both are high mate value people, right? When there's a low agreeableness, that means that one of the partners is not satisfied in the relationship, and so that partner is more likely to pursue infidelity. But you can also have low agreeableness where it is negatively linked to infidelity, that the person still might not pursue infidelity, and it's likely because there may not be an opportunity to pursue infidelity. There are 6 different factors of mate value. So agreeableness, commitment, resource potential, physical prowess, emotional stability, surgency, physical attractiveness. Infidelity intentions are influenced by partner's mate value and one's own mate value, and moderated by participant sex and infidelity type. So we're going to go over it. So Starrett in mate value both positively and negatively predicts intentions to commit an infidelity. Survey university psychology students and community participants regarding individual differences in mating behavior and assess based upon the aforementioned 6 components of mate value. So they conducted, the authors conducted a study, right? The sample was 312 participants. Of that sample, there were 155 females. The mean age was 24 years old. The mean relationship, the time that they spent in a relationship was about 3 years. And then the partner's age was about 25. So here are the study results. Intention to commit a sexual infidelity. 66% of women and 51% of men reported zero intention. So they in their relationship, what they are basically suggesting is that there was good relationship satisfaction, so there was no real need for them to commit an infidelity. Intention to commit an emotional infidelity. 52% of women, 45% of men reported zero intention. So the same thing. And then infidelity is dichotomized based upon no attention or at least some intention. Okay. So if we're looking at the study results, we want to look at total mate value, and then there's another qualifying criteria we're going to go over. So if we're looking at women's total mate value, negatively predicted their own sexual infidelity intention, that they essentially could not find a qualifying factor for why they would pursue it. Sexual infidelity. Women's own total mate value negatively predicted intention to commit emotional infidelity. So negative and positive, meaning that we found a positive relationship or a negative relationship between two things. Men's total mate value did not predict men's likelihood of sexual infidelity. So the perception of a total mate value for a man. And then men's emotional infidelity was negatively predicted by men's total mate value. So total mate value in terms of taking partners at the whole, and then you have self-perception of mate value as well. Okay, so sexual. So women's self-perceived mate value factors predicted their own sexual infidelity intention. So based upon their self-perception of their mate value, they were more likely to pursue a sexual infidelity intention. And then agreeableness, commitment negatively predicted women's sexual infidelity intention. So that means that it was more along the lines of their self-perceived mate value versus issues that they might have had in a relationship in terms of relationship satisfaction. Men's own mate value factors predicted their sexual infidelity intention. So their self-perception, and then predictor of men's anticipated infidelity was their partner's physical attractiveness. And I sort of mentioned this in previous audios that when men step out, it has a lot to do with the physical attractiveness of a potential partner as well as access to sexual variety. Emotional. So women's self-perceived mate value factors predicted their own likelihood of reporting at least some chance of emotional infidelity. You know, that could be, like I said a few slides ago, that here it is, your man is not acting the way that you think he should act at the home. Here it is, you've been staying home all day and he's been working all day, or you work too and he works, and you come home and you're both tired and you just want a little bit of loving, and he says no, he's tired. And then you act out when you go to the job and you sort of pursue a person on the job by having lunch with them, talking about your mate, right? Their mate value, their self-perceived mate value for women predicted their own likelihood of reporting at least some chance of emotional infidelity. So the more you hang out with that person during lunch, the more likely you will pursue emotional infidelity. And then agreeableness, commitment was the only predictor. So if there's sort of low agreeableness in the relationship between the woman and her husband, in terms of relationship satisfaction, she is more likely to pursue an emotional infidelity somewhere else. Okay. Men's own mate value factors predicted their own emotional infidelity intention. So it's very hard for me to see how men would pursue emotional infidelity. But, you know, if you're telling anyone, especially if it's a man telling a female about the troubles he's having at the house, you are always going to end up pursuing some sort of emotional infidelity intention. Now, the woman that you're telling could try to turn that into a, sexual relationship, but you are so hurt over what's going on with you and your wife that you feel like you have to talk it out. Unique predictors include men's agreeableness, commitment, men's emotional stability, men's partners' agreeableness, commitment, and men's partners' physical attractiveness. So if a man pursues an emotional infidelity intention, it is likely because there is low agreeableness, hardly any commitment, there may be emotional stability issues, or he might have issues with his partner's physical attractiveness. Different facets of mate value predict infidelity. Both men and women reported that factors predicting infidelity intention were those that resulted in a consequential net gain based upon one's own perception of mate value and one's partner's mate value. So in other words, it has to benefit. If I'm going to pursue an infidelity intention and follow through, there has to be some sort of consequential net gain as a result. So in other words, the likelihood of reporting some intention to commit an infidelity is higher when that infidelity is more likely to result in an increase in one's own mate value or in the replacement of one's current partner with a new partner who is comparatively more valuable. Like I said in the previous slide, men are not going to leave one type of partner for another partner within the same category. That they will they will hope that if they are married to a 7-8, that the next person they get will be a 9-10. Right? You could say the same about women, that they're not going to move from one partner who is making $50,000 a year to another partner who's making $50,000 a year. Women might say to themselves, no, I don't need to do that. I might as well stay with my own partner. No, they will trade up. They will leave the $50,000 a year partner for someone who is way higher in value, way above $50,000, all the way into the millions. Women who reported higher surgency also reported intention to commit infidelity. So these are the people who sort of marry up. According to Ellis et al., surgency is a trait indicative of one's interest in and ability to become upwardly mobile in a social hierarchy. So you have your elites, you have your upper class, you have your celebrities, your rich, your upper class, your elites, right? And if you want to move up into that social hierarchy, your surgency objective is going to include positioning yourself around that type of social hierarchy. You're not going to necessarily meet a person who is sort of like a part of a higher upper class elite social hierarchy in the bar. You would have to go to those types of networking events or types of benefits, like for diabetes or AIDS or something like that, where the plate costs $25,000. You would have to pursue a higher surgency in that arena versus in a traditional arena if you were meeting someone on a job or at a bar. Historically, women gained social mobility by marrying up. These two authors conclude that female infidelity then serves as a strategy of trading up, whereby women who are more likely to have goals related to resources and social status also may be more motivated to seek out opportunities to acquire such things, some of which may present themselves in the form of sexual relationships with men who are not their primary partners. So in other words, if women could move up without having sex, move up, position themselves around a high status man with a social hierarchy, and date that person without having sex and then get married, they would do that. But they know with certain relationships, you're going to have, some kind of sex with that person, right? So they want the resources, they want the social status that comes with trading up. And so in order to acquire such things, they might have to present themselves in the form of sexual relationships with men. Now, we, call that prostituting, hooking, things like that, but they don't see it that way. In contrast, men typically do not receive material resources from women. Instead, they receive sexual access as a primary benefit. This suggests that reproductive behaviors are determined by women being more selective in whom they choose to grant sexual access. So essentially, men have what women need in terms of access to resources. Women have what men need in terms of access to sex. However, men also can choose based upon their own mate value. So men who tend to be more agreeable and or commitment oriented tend to attract positive attention from those women who may fall under the following guidelines. So those women who are not their primary partners, those women who may be of a higher value than their primary partners, those women who may be willing to provide sexual access, and then those women whose perception of alternative mates is a predictor of infidelity behavior. So men who tend to be more agreeable and are commitment oriented tend to attract positive attention from those women who fall under these types of categories. Jackman and Martins conclude that opportunity is also a predictor, is also a positive predictor of infidelity, meaning that between opportunity and infidelity, there is a positive relationship on the scale. Not everyone receives a viable opportunity to engage in infidelity and may never receive one. Intent to commit an infidelity may be moot absent opportunity. So that's where the negative relationship comes from. If you remember those previous slides about negative and positive, that if you don't have the opportunity to engage in infidelity, then there is a negative relationship between opportunity and infidelity. But if you have opportunity, here it is, the girls, while you guys are on the road trip as a basketball team, the girls are running down the hall trying to get to you, right? And then you look at that as an opportunity because your wife is not there. You don't see cameras anywhere. And so you look at that as an opportunity to cheat, to engage in an infidelity. Well, you have opportunity, so then there is a positive relationship between opportunity and engaging in infidelity. However, intent to commit an infidelity might be motivated to create and or seek out an opportunity. More research is needed to determine the difference between likelihood of infidelity and actual infidelity. And so likelihood is all relative, again, it's based upon opportunity. You can also have opportunity and not pursue it. Likelihood also means that as well. And then actual infidelity is the actual act of infidelity. In essence, people prefer losing because of the need to create opportunities to lose. A commitment to infidelity while in a long-term relationship or marriage is essentially suggesting that losing is more important than gaining the development needed in that relationship. A partner who commits infidelity may gain another partner, even material resources, but the loss of growth and understanding will still be a noticeable gap in addition to the consequences that come with mate switching. So sure, you leave one partner for another, right? And you develop and hone that talent, that skill of leaving partners, going from thing to thing, going from place to place, going from person to person. But you are missing out on the growth and understanding that comes with relationship building. So in one of my audios, I say that cheating is a deal breaker for me. At the end of that, however, I also say that you can't leave everybody. If you leave every time somebody cheats on you, You'll just be leaving and leaving and leaving and leaving. Now, cheating, it depends on why the person is cheating. If the person is struggling, here it is, they're trying to be in relationship with you, but they've always had an issue in a particular area, but they want to stop. Well, that's different. It's a struggle. But if you got a person who thrives in cheating, they love to cheat, it is their lifestyle, that person will never change. They don't care about growth. They don't care about understanding. Their mate switching is really, really defined as having maybe a dating rotation, even if they are married. So a partner who commits infidelity may gain another partner, even material resources, but the loss of growth and understanding will still be a noticeable gap, in addition to the consequences that come with mate switching. So you'll see this person who has jumped from relationship to relationship to relationship, 20s, 30s, 40s, 50 years old, get to their 60s and want to settle down, but they don't have the strategies and tools to work through problems. And then they'll leave a relationship thinking that it's the same type of relationship and the same type of issue that they had in their 20s and 30s and 40s and 50s. They'll leave in their 60s hastily. So if you take the time out to grow and learn and understand, that's why I created this series. I wasn't a person who jumped from relationship to relationship, but while I was in relationships, I did not learn. I did not grow. I did not understand. It should not have taken this last partner that I had to cheat on me and then end up marrying someone else for me to get it. And so that's what you miss a lot of times when you either have gaps in terms of relationships. There were a lot of times I was not in relationships. There was a time I was not in a relationship for 13 years, but I wasn't learning anything. And then the times that I was in relationships, I didn't learn anything. And so then you get to your late 30s to your 40s and you run into adult problems, adult romantic relationship problems, and you don't have the tools and tips and skills to work through it. So then you leave it. Now, I had to exit my relationship because he was cheating and it was getting dangerous. And so he was trying to have his ex-partner come to the house. And so and I had just gotten, fed up with it. And so I had to, for my own sanity, safety, everything. But it isn't until now that I'm really, truly understanding what's been going on the whole time. However, people often weigh the costs and benefits of taking risks to commit infidelity through a cost-benefit pattern. Benefits are typically attributed to relative mate value of individuals in the relationship. Infidelity risk is higher when potential benefits gained from infidelity are higher, such as securing an increase in one's own value or securing a more valuable partner, and lower when the potential cost of committing an infidelity is higher, such as losing a high value partner. So we said this at the beginning, and then in the previous audio, that people who believe their partner is high value are less likely to use cost-inflicting behaviors like cheating and infidelity. So if you feel like your partner has high value, is a high value mate, you're going to try to do all that you can to try to retain that partner, right? And by association, because you believe he's high value, you also self-perceive that you are high value. So why would two high value mates cheat on each other? It happens, but you think to yourself, you reason and rationalize that it doesn't make any sense. But infidelity risk is higher when potential benefits gained from infidelity are higher, such as securing an increase in one's own value, meaning that you can raise your value if you decide to cheat with someone who is of higher value. and then or securing a more valuable partner. So basically letting go of that long-term cohabitation partner or divorcing your married partner and marrying a more valuable partner. And valuable, is all relative. It determines, it depends on resources. It depends on resources for women, and then physical attractiveness for men. People often prefer losing because the cost may be beneficial in the end based upon their perspective of their old mate value relative to a lower partner mate value. So it's almost like you feel like you are advancing based upon your perspective that you are high value. So that means advancing means increasing the competition, for you in a sense, and obtaining a high value mate so you can remain high value yourself. Losing is precisely the reason why people will leave a relationship that is working for one that has no promise of working. They will marry someone else in the false sense of believing that in marrying someone else they are winning. People will value what they believe to be functional for them, even if the choice is not truly productive. So a lot of times, people oftentimes leave these relationships that are working. It may be slow working, it may be, boring working, but they will leave something that is working for something that has no promise of working. But it's all based upon your perception of you believing that you are worthy enough to make that choice, right? To make that risk, to take that risk, and that the person you get with will be, sort of like the reward for you taking that risk.
All right, so hopefully you were able to gain insight from this video discussion. Please like, subscribe, and visit. So please like the video, hit the notification bell for more discussions. I am re-uploading all of my audios, so I needed to make some changes to them. You can visit my website for more content at reginayfavors.com. If you want to send me an email, you can send an email reginayfavors@yahoo.com. Please also purchase the book. It's going to come out in spring 2021. So I had to make changes to my book to update it, and I also updated the title. So the original title was Bait, Hook, and Switch: Confessions of a Rebound Girl, and I have updated the title to Toxic Encounters: Why People Pursue Rebound Relationships. So right now I'm still basically editing it, and I want to make it available in spring 2021. So thank you very much for visiting my channel, and I am Regina Y. Favors. Have a great day.